So you want an Australian Shepherd. And you've done all the research that you have to do. Well, I'm here to give you my experience with an Australian Shepherd. So if you guys are new to this channel, this is Winston, our Australian Shepherd. He's a red merle and we got him when he was 9 weeks old. And now, he's a big boy. He's 5 months old. Isn't that right, bud? You're such a big boy. You're the biggest boy. So while you're doing your research, you probably came across that this type of breed is super high energy and that they constantly have to be doing something, either playing or running around. But that's not entirely true. For the most part of the day, Winston is actually sleeping. But when he is up, he is looking for something to do. So some of the ways that we keep him occupied is that we use pig's ears, a lick mat, chew sticks, puzzle games, and kongs. So kongs are probably my most favorite thing to use. We use it as a way to feed him and a way to keep him busy. So what we do is we fill it up with pate, we freeze it for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and then we give it to him. And this keeps him occupied for a little while. But of course, this isn't going to fulfill his need of having to do a job. In order to do that, you're going to have to bring him outside daily. And one of the tasks that we like to give Winston is fetching frisbee. If you don't like going outside every day, this dog is not for you, because you're going to have days like this where the weather is just garbage. It's raining, it's gloomy, and you're not going to want to go outside. But you have an Australian Shepherd, and this type of weather does not bother them. They're double coated. They could withstand this type of weather. They don't care about the rain. In fact, Winston loves the rain. He loves getting wet. Isn't that right, Winston? Now, of course, you can have an Aussie that just doesn't like this type of weather. But generally speaking, they're bred for this. They're working dogs, you know. They gotta get a job done regardless of the weather, which is why, again, they're double coated to withstand this type of weather. Winston, you having fun? Oh, you want this? You want that? You want the frisbee? Okay. Ready? Go get it. So the amount of exercise that Winston gets every day is between an hour to an hour and a half, and we break that up throughout the entire day. We also split up the type of exercises that he's going to get, which is physical and mental stimulation. So the traditional job of an Aussie is to be herding sheep and cattle, and this is something you're going to have to be very careful about, because eventually they may start hurting you, your kids, and any other pets that you have. This is an issue we're facing with Winston right now, but he only gets triggered when I start running away from him. That's when he starts sniffing me in the back. If you go on TikTok, we started this series of me racing him, which was all fine and dandy until he was able to catch up to me, and then he started nipping me in the back. So again, this is something we're working on with him. And because they're herding dogs, they're very attached to their owners. Just think about it. When they're out there in the field herding the sheep, they look at the shepherd for guidance in order for them to complete their goal. So I touched on this earlier, but these dogs are double coated, which means they're going to be shedding a lot. And you're going to have to be brushing them at least once a week. Now, I brushed Winston for about 3 minutes, and I got all this fur out, and he's only 5 months old. So just imagine when he's older, he's gonna have much more fur, and this is gonna be like times 5. Many people say that Australian Shepherds are not good for first-time dog owners, but let me tell you something. Winston is my very first dog, and I'd like to say I'm doing pretty well so far. You just need to make sure that your lifestyle matches theirs, and that you have enough time for them. You cannot shove them in a crate and expect to have a well-behaved dog. It's just not gonna happen. You need to put in the effort. You need to take him outside for a couple of hours. Throw a ball, throw frisbee, give them a job to do. Because if not, they're going to start hurting you. They're going to start hurting your kids. They're going to start hurting your other animals. And this is something you cannot fault them for. They're designed this way. You can't get mad at them for that. It's on you. You give them a job. You task them stuff. You need to be okay with them shedding, with them getting dirty. If you're okay with all these things, then I think you'll be okay. The last thing I'll say is that every day there's something new. You'll never truly be ready for the amount of love they offer you. Sure, there'll be times when you get frustrated and don't know what to do. Just keep in mind that their whole world is you. years, and you'll see a best friend, a soul that will stick with you until the very end. So cherish every moment, because time is fleeting. One moment they're a pup, then they're forever sleeping.